Hey, what is up, guys? It is John from the Collectors Company, bringing you another deck profile. Once again, I was able to win another regional here in OCE, making it 3 wins in a row. Honestly, I'm very happy about that. I know I've won a lot of DBS in just from playing the game historically or whatever, right throughout the years. But I've actually never won 3 events in a row, so I think that's pretty cool to say that is something new that I've done. And yeah, also one of the few players in the world to be able to say they've won 3 regionals in a row, regardless of region. I think that's still a very impressive feat. So I'm very proud about myself for that. So go me, woo! But yeah, that's not what you guys are here for. You guys are here for the deck I won, right? The infamous set 21 Green Sun Gohan leader. The leader that has revived green to an insane amount. Arguably the best green leader well, no, not even arguably, factually the best green leader we have gotten in an insanely long time. And yeah, um, I've been playing this deck heaps on Untap. I've grinded heaps of games on it, so I had a really good understanding on the deck. A lot of people who knew when U7 came out, there was another deck I was able to win with, and I played with that deck heaps on Untap because I think it's a very fun deck. And likewise, I've grinded this deck heaps on Untap, and I had a great time. But yeah, I want to give a couple of shout outs. I wanted to shout out before I get into the deck profile. Shout out to the boys we went up with. It was me, Kevin, Nick, Jun, and Nooks. We Airbnb up there. It was really good time staying all together. My testing boys, guys playing with Nick and Kevin on Untap and just practicing last minute with all of them guys. Shout out to Peter Proctor, my teammate, Peter Proctor. Peter Proctor, I always get it wrong, but anyway, shout out to my boy Peter. He helped me heaps with the deck towards the last few days with how he built his green margin Vegeta deck, which if you guys know, Peter plays that deck. He's an insane green player, which is crazy to say. Like, he was doing insane with the green before like everyone thought it was bad, and he was playing this green aggro margin Vegeta deck and made it insane. And I heavily based this build of the Gohan deck off of his deck, and it worked out really well. And last shout I wanted to give is to Mr. Robert Rizzi. First of all, screw you. Second of all, the reason why I say this is because I sent him. I know he was playing Green Gohan. I messaged him earlier in the week, asking him to critique my list, and he didn't critique it. He just said it was shit. So that's all he said. So I had to do insane research. He gave me a hint. Just run utility and crit, and you'll do great. So I read every green card in the game almost that had critical on it till 2 a.m. in the morning to change my deck. Instead of him telling me the answer, he's told me to, he told me to step off my dog shit deck, and that was depressing. But regardless, we're here now. We've got a good deck, and yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. We'll get into the deck profile. All right, guys, this is the Invoker Leader I won. Very beautiful card. Yeah, this card's very nice. Not much else to say about that, but this is to confirm I actually did win the event. The playmat, yeah, they didn't have the playmats when they were up in Brisbane, so I think it's going to get sent out to me, but it looks way better than this playmat we've got here. But yeah, alrighty. So for those of you who do not know what this Gohan does, it has an auto that when you play this card, the Time Chamber comes out automatically, and we'll go over the Time Chamber effects as well. Auto. When this card attacks, you get to look at the top 5 cards of your deck and add any green Saiyan from your deck to your hand. Already, that's insane, because majority of cards in the Dragon Ball Super card game are Saiyans, and the other insane thing about it is that a lot of the leader cards that have this ability have some sort of, like, restriction, being like it might be only 4 or less cards you can add, or 5 or less, or whatever like that. This card doesn't care. This can add every green Saiyan in your every green Saiyan in your deck, including your SCR, which is very relevant. And then the awaken condition, he has 2 awaken conditions. The first one being if you're at 4 life or less, and the second one being if you have a Son Goku in play, the specific Son Goku. That honestly doesn't come up to it doesn't come up the Gohan thing, the Goku thing. Who am I talking about? Awakening at 6 life is sick, but a lot of the times you can easily awaken comfortably at 4 life if you want to go other play lines. Now, before I awaken, we go to the awaken side. We need to talk about the time chamber card, because this card's crazy. Seeing as though it comes into play, essentially, this is the leader card right here. It's got barrier and it's a field card, right? So there's not that many ways to get rid of it, I think, besides Xeno Unison. It's got a permanent skill where 2 permanent skills. The first one here, or the second one, I guess, is that you can only have 2 cards under the time chamber at a time, which is very thematic of the show, where only 2 people can go in training together. And then the other permanent here is that if our leader is a Son Goku, yeah, if there is a Son Gohan childhood under this card, Son Gohan cards in your leader area gain 5,000 power. So what the wording is, right? It doesn't mean that when you awaken you have 5,000 power. Specifically, when you are on the unawakened side of your leader and you have a Gohan card under your time chamber, your leader is a 15k base. That is insane. To be completely honest, I have won games where I haven't felt like I've needed to awaken. Because my leader's already base 15k if I have the card under, right? That's kind of crazy. So that's already huge. So you can play this deck comfortably at any life total. And the last active main, which is the most important part of the time chamber, is that if the time chamber is in active mode, not rest mode, because a lot of cards switch to rest mode, but when it's in active mode, you can take up to 2 of your life and play a card from under the time chamber, which is crazy. That is free play right there. Technically, you do invest the energy a turn prior, and then you get free play. But the point of the thing is that this the field enables you free play, and if I remember correctly, Bandai said they were trying to limit free play a while ago, but they just brought it back with the green deck. Alright, now on the awakened side of the leader, which this leader side is also insane. Its first order is that when you combo with a card from your hand, you just choose one card from your hand, bottom deck, and then draw 2 new cards. Either player's turn. That is what we call. Oh, also untap draw 1, by the way, on awakened. Forgot to mention that untap draw 1. Yeah. So when you combo a card, it essentially turns any card into your deck into a super combo, which is ridiculous. It's like the launch leader or the Gohan leader, but the U7 Gohan leader, like all those combo leaders, right? But it's actually insane that it lets you bottom deck cards, because some cards need to be in your deck to be played, so that's huge as well. And to auto, when you attack with a Son Gohan childhood card in your battle card, you get the combo of 5k from your drop. So like literally the second effect just enables the first effect. So it's like just a raw +2 for no reason, right? That's crazy. This leader is so good. Like a lot of the times I find myself never wanting to go into the Z leader because I'm just drawing so many cards on the regular leader side. So yeah. The leader is so generically good, and now we'll get into the deck. So this is a 50 card deck. If you exclude the time chamber, technically it's a 49 card deck. But yeah, we'll get into the first package. We'll first get into the cards we can play from under the time chamber, right? And I think this is going to come to as a shock to a lot of people when they see this initially. But as we go into the deck a bit more, it'll start making more and more sense. So I run 7 of the Trunks Vegeta package. So all the time chamber cards have an ability when they go onto the time chamber, they fetch the training partner and put it under the time chamber from the deck as well. A lot of people saying that the Vegeta Trunks kind of sucks because you need it on turn 1 kind of thing for it to be optimal, whatever, right? I felt that way for the longest time as well, but we'll go into the reason why it's really good. So it is a great turn 1 play. If you have either of these, you put it under the time chamber, search the respective one for the deck, put it under there. And then on the following turn, you probably use the time chamber to take 2 of your life to go down to 6 if you haven't been attacked yet, and then play this Vegeta. So what the Vegeta does is that he gains he gains 5k power the turn he's played, and he can be comboed in rest mode. So, and then when he attacks, his other order is that he combos the Trunks from under the time chamber. You draw a card and he gains critical. So, yeah, the play line really is that like turn 1, we put this under the time chamber, put this, so these two come together. Following turn, we take 2 life, that's a +2. Play the Vegeta swing, combo the Trunks off. That's a 20k crit into lead that drew us a new card. And then we can swing with our leader, combo the Vegeta off, and so this combo here just generated us 2Z energy and thinned our deck a few cards. So yeah, the fact that it's 20k crit as well is a very nice number in the early game. And keep in mind, yes, we did spend 1 energy on turn 1 doing this turn 1, but like then we had a free play turn 2. Like this is our second turn of the game, no energy investment. Next card we'll go into is the next cards, the Gohan and the Goku. These cards are insane. I guess I'll also quickly show the Z card that it pairs with as well. I play 2 of this Goku, right? Yeah, again, kind of the same thing but different. So in order to get these cards into your Z energy, you guys can't even see the Z Goku. I'm sorry, the Z Goku here. In order to get these cards into your Z energy, you need to play this Goku first, and you can only play it when you're on 2 energy. So you play the Goku, you KO something with a cost of 3 or less, which is very relevant, and then you put either the Goku or the Gohan under the time chamber, and then you search the other one from your deck, right? Yeah, the fact that this also KOs something is very relevant, which we'll go over to the next package I'll show after this. But yeah, very very synergetic. Like turn 1, right? As I was saying before, we have 2Z energy because of the Trunks and Vegeta, right? Because we swung with the Vegeta, combo the Trunks, and we swung with something else. Even we can swing with this if we play it, right? We've cleared our time chamber of cards, so it's ready to be reloaded, right? And then we've also generated 2Z energy, which is really good. Keep in mind, every time you put cards under the time chamber, the requirement's also to switch it to rest mode. So you can't just put the cards under the time chamber then play them in the same turn. You have to wait a turn, right? Which yeah, adds a weird element of like It's technically not free play because you did spend an energy in a previous turn, but albeit with the Trunks Vegeta effect or the Goku effect. But that does, yeah, but then it enables free play later on. Um, then yeah, so the how you generally want to do it when it comes to these guys, right? The Goku Vegeta, sorry, the Goku Gohan. You want to play the Goku first, because this is the Goku that needs to be in play for you to enable you to awaken any life total. And then what this Goku does when you play him, he gains 10k power, so he's a 24k barrier body. Then he has an active made for 1 green. You just place it in the drop area. You draw a card, and then you play a Gohan from under the time chamber. Up, and then yeah, when you play the Gohan, he KOs something on play. When he attacks, you get to yeah, when he sorry, not when he attacks, when you combo with a this Goku card specifically, where if you do it with your leader, it'll automatically combo the Goku, right? You get to remove 2 markers from a unison. But the main thing is this is our main form of removal in the deck. It's a just kill anything. And yeah, keep in mind, right, when you get to later stages of the game, so you can still just keep. Let's just say now on my turn I want to awaken, right? I'm just gonna play this Goku here, right? Okay, like just play it for a 24k body and to take 2 life, and then I can swing whatever, right? I don't have to use this active main to play the Goku. The Gohan. Sorry, I can leave the Gohan in the time chamber and just play it like in a later turn if I want. Or better yet, if I play both of them, I can play another Goku and reload the time chamber with another 2, right? Like get them out of there, play 2 more, so then I have free play for the next turn. So yeah, this is overall. We have so many targets from the time chamber. The biggest thing about the time chamber is that once you get the cards in there, you're playing the cards in a later part of the game for free, which is just huge. And also, before I forget, the Trunks has an additional ability where if you have 4 or more energy and your leader's a Z leader, you can remove this card from the game, discard your card from a hand, and play the Vegeta from the drop area and it gains 10k power for the turn. Never comes up. It did almost come up, but I had something better to do. All right, next thing with now the next part. This is what makes the deck insane. Like we already have so much free play just like that. So let's add the actual best free play in green, the Frieza Zeno engine. My God. Yeah. This is what I copied from Peter's deck. After I like looked into it, I copied how he implemented into Majin Vegeta and implemented it in here. I might as well show the next cards as well. Cells, Earth Destroying Kamehameha, because I consider this the whole entire like Frieza package to an extent. I think this is just insane. So how this whole package works is that when you KO a battle card, whether it is just from attacking into it or just from using a skill, you get to free play this Frieza. So we're KOing stuff so easily. The Goku Z card KOs something 3 or less. The Gohan KOs anything, right? We get the free play our 15k crit Frieza. We swing with the Frieza. Then if we have the 4-star ball in hand, we put it underneath the Frieza and we search the deck for the Frieza Zeno. And then what the Frieza Zeno does, he has double strike and unique, so you can only have one of him out in play. But then you get to swing into your opponent's leader for a double strike or unison, remove 2 markers from whatever. Then active main, you just kill this card off. You put these 3 cards in the drop area. Then you get to snipe a random card out of your opponent's hand. So one of the deck's biggest weaknesses is that if we're just using our regular, just poking, hand destruction, whatever, right, where they get to choose, that 9 times out of 10, they're choosing a Dabura, they're playing the Dabura for 1 energy, and they're drawing 2 cards, right? That feels pretty bad. But with this element of randomness makes it so your opponent doesn't get that luxury. We're sniping important cards, and on top of that as well, we're constantly swinging for critical, right? So they're losing cards to get out of these critical swings, and then the cards they want to keep, we're just randomly sniping out of the hand, which makes it insane. And additionally, active main, if you yeah, if you're sorry, order. So when this card's placed in the drop area, if your opponent has 3 or more energy, you can choose any green extra card in your drop area with a cost of 1 and add it back to your hand. So that if you're planning to go into the other option of this with if you have another surprise attack in hand and maybe you want to go into it, you can add the ball back to your hand, or if you need 5k combo power, you add the ball back. You can loop Cell's Earth Destroying Kamehameha, which is dumb, and you can also loop the Floodgate that's in the deck. It's like the utility this card provides and the fact it's just constant crit pressure is insane. And back with how I was saying before, how we want cards in the deck with the leader order. This is the card I felt like if I ever drew into this card, I didn't care because I'd use a Paragus Super Combo, right, which I'm running, drawing 2, then I'd warp 1, then I'd just bottom deck this and draw 2 more. So like yeah, it is insane. And then yeah, Cell's Earth Destroying Kamehameha. The fact that the golden rule for DBS is usually to combo in increments like 10k higher. So let's just say now I'm versing yellow, right? They play their Servant Margin Vegeta, they swing it with me, 25k double strike into lead. Alright, I pay 1, I use cells. I stop your attack for 1 card, and I snipe a card out of your hand. So yeah, this card's ridiculously good. I wasn't running it in an earlier build, and then once I added it to my deck, it just elevated the deck so much with the Frieza Zeno package. Like the fact that I can be alright to charge one, and then I can grab it back, which is ridiculous. That's like, yeah, this Frieza Zeno stuff is insane, honestly. So yeah, thanks to Peter for showing me how to implement it properly, and thanks for Robert Reese for bullying me. I really appreciate it. Next we still don't worry, we still run the cool cards. Go over these green cards here. These are other green battle cards that we play. Uh, we play 3 copies of the 8 drop, 3 copies of the 10k Goku, and then 3 Karaken. The founder, the Furious. Why don't I say founder? But anyway. So what these cards do, right? So obviously this bomb, this card's insane. You only need 3 of it in the deck because there's some games where I don't even play this card because we go so aggro with our other stuff that this is kind of like a icing on the cake. It's not necessary to play this card, but when it comes up, it's great. When you play it for 2 green, if your opponent has 3 energy, if you're versing Android 21, you get to play this on turn 2, which is actually hilarious. Yeah. So when you play this card, it gains barrier. For the turn, when you attack with it, you KO one of your opponent's cards, ignoring barrier, and your opponent discards a card out of their hand. Really good. This is our only barrier removal in the main deck, and yeah, the fact that we force our opponent to discard a card off of this, like, and it also triggers our leader to combo a 5k from the drop. So we're swinging 40k, kill something, they discard a card into your lead. That's it. It's just like it's crazy that this is 35k base. This card's ridiculous. If Deborah wasn't a card, or if the free, like the anti-hand destruction cards, yellow and green weren't a thing, this card would be too degenerate. But those cards keep it in check. It also has another auto where if you combo it, if you have a 10k Son Goku that costs 1 energy, 10k in your combo area, when this card is in battle, your opponent burns a life, direct to drop. So this is also technically a triple striker for whatever reason. Like, why not? You know, this card's insane. Then we have this 10k Goku. Arguably one of the weaker cards of the deck, funnily enough, but it's got counterplay limit 1, and then permanent for every card of Z cost. For example, this is this stuff right here. This, see how this is green 3 Z cost here. So if every one of those we have in play, it reduces the cost of it by 1. So if, for the counterplay cost, so it can essentially be a 1 cost. And then the auto, we're at the auto first, is that when your opponent plays a card, we can play this, and then once we play this, we'll put it in our Z energy, and then we choose one of our opponent's cards, 7 or less, and put it into their Z energy, and remove 2 markers from a unison they have in play. That part's okay. The big part about this is the other permanent, where if our leader is the Z leader, this card's a free 10k combo in our hand defensively. So it essentially gives us like 3 extra 10k combo cards. The main reason to play this is that it's the best 10k Goku card to combo off for our 8 drop. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This card's very average otherwise, which is crazy to say because this card, well, for one, it looks beautiful, but it just, yeah, it doesn't actually. I don't actually ever play this card for what it was intended for. I sometimes side this card out, which is pretty funny. And then lastly, we have Son Goku the Furious. Shout out to the person I bought these for. I think it was Brendan, if I'm not mistaken. I bought 2 of the winners ones for them. He's an absolute legend. He sent me these 2 extra ones because the first shipment actually got lost, and I messaged him about it saying, "Oh yeah, it's Laz and Raya, yada yada yada," because I ordered these like maybe a month or 2 ago. And then yeah, he was a homie and sent me 2 more for nothing. So Brendan, if you ever watch this video, thank you heaps for that. I really do appreciate it because this card's very good for the deck. What this Goku does is that you just play it for 1 and your opponent discards a card from their hand. So that's pretty much all it is, more hand destruction. And then being able to play this for 1, swing 15k crit, again, we're swinging for critical and demanding an answer from our opponent every turn, so it's very nice. And I did say that was it for green battle cards. I have a pile somewhere in my room. Here it is. These cards here are all cards I was considering for this deck, and one of them notably is this Ape. I don't think this Ape is very good in this deck. It's only good going first or second, because it's essentially just like a 1 energy 19k crit blocker. That's it. It doesn't do anything else. Whereas this Goku costs 1 energy. Yeah, it's slightly weaker, but like it's DBS. Your card's probably going to die into the following turn anyway, so it doesn't matter if it's like a little bit weaker. But at least this gets a card out of your opponent's hand, which is relevant. And it also technically can become a 25k if you activate it for 1 more. So like yeah, card is good. Next we'll talk about our SCR choice, Son Goku Peace Resolution. I have been going back and forth on this card. over Cell Max and some other options. But I ultimately landed on this because it's Goku, you know, the Goku best character. But no, but in all seriousness though, realistically, your opponent should be negating your leader swing most of the time. But obviously, in a game of DBS, like with this build, because we're applying so much pressure for no resources, right? Our opponent can't negate every attack in the game, so there will be a time where we catch our opponent with their pants down, triple strike into lead. And honestly, the best part to it also, the fact that it restands our leader is kind of nice because I've done this. A common play line I will do, I'll just combo this on my unawakened leader, right? So our leader's already 15k base. I'll swing, I'll +5 for a Saiyan. I'll combo my SCR, and if I'm at 4 life, which I can easily get to from playing cards for free under my time chamber, I'll also go with the Paragus super combo to go up to 35k triple strike. I don't really care if my opponent takes it or not, funnily enough. They can take it, they might not, whatever. But then I get to restand my leader, right? And because the downside of running this Goku in other decks, it negates the skills of the leader, right? But worse on Gohan, so it doesn't negate the skills. So we get to attack again, and our auto to add a card from our top 5 searcher isn't once per turn, so we get that another card to our hand. Once I do that, then I'll awaken. So yeah, this is a very insane playline you can do on turn 3, and it's yeah, it's very good. Yeah, even though it's a 2 energy triple striker, you're also giving yourself 20k base power until the end of your opponent's turn. And yeah, I think overall, I didn't play it every game. There were games I had in my hand that I just didn't play it in, but because sometimes it doesn't really come up. But I think overall this card is very good. I don't think that you can go wrong with this card in this deck since it is searchable, and it does have other synergies with the archetype being like, again, that what I just said, that interaction with the leader. Plus, if it does somehow end up in your drop area, it is a 10k combo Goku that does enable your 8 drop. So I don't think you can go wrong with this card. Cell Max is also a fantastic option because it's just a 1 energy quad strike as well. But I think the big thing about this is that you can do it in random. You can literally just do this turn 2 if you really want to. I think that's the big thing about it. But yeah, would recommend if you don't have this card. I think there's other options that are suitable as well. Like even Primal Carnage is a good card to run. Next we have 2 SS Vegeta Overwhelm. So this is the Overwhelm I decided to go with. Again, we're hand destruction. We're taxing our opponent's hand. This card sends the card to warp when we play it. Like, yeah, they choose, but it goes to the warp, so they don't really get any benefits from us playing this. So yeah, good card is good. And 30k stat line is great. I don't run any removal Overwhelm because this deck already just deals with boards anyway, because we have so much removal naturally in the deck, so it doesn't really matter. For Paragus Super Combo, you can run the Vegeta Super Combo loop with the red Vegeta. The only reason I don't run that anymore is because, one, we're an aggro deck. I rather have the option to draw more cards in my deck. Paragus is better in a shorter game, but the Super Combo loop is better in a longer game. But overall, I really like Paragus. You can do either or. Again, this also only takes up 4 deck slots, where if you're running the loop, you're running probably like 6 or 7 cards, because you're also running the 2 or 3 Vegetas you're choosing to use the loop with this deck. I will say, if you are running the super combo loop, I'd recommend running. There's a red green, one of the god rares that says when you charge this card, you remove a red and a green card from your drop area to remove energy exhaust. I would recommend running that card as well if you're running the super combo loop, just because it also enables you to play Focus Breakthrough for free, which is very huge. Next for our defensive cards, the last cards of the deck, we have 3 Awakening Raged, Unleashed Awakened Rage, 3 Homicidal Clones, and then I've got 2 Focus Breakthrough and 1 Koitsukai. This card is insane, the Unawakened Rage. The fact that this is a free defensive card towards later parts, when we're at 4 life or less, we can negate with this. We either pay 1 to just straight out stop the attack. That's at worst. This card is a 1 energy negate, stop the attack, draw a card. Fantastic. If we pitch a card from our hand, every time our opponent wants to attack for the rest of the turn, they have to charge a card into the Z energy, which again, we're hitting our opponent constantly with crit and hand destruction cards, so even though this doesn't seem like much, and it does seem like it's helping them, if your opponent only has 6 cards in hand, or 4 3 cards in their hand, there's no way they're pushing through it. They're like probably a bit scared to push through, right? And then the last thing is that if you can use it for free if you discard it, you can discard an extra card from your hand and use it for free. So really, let's just say you have this, you pitch these 2 cards from your hand, you get to draw a new card, so it does technically kind of somewhat replace itself, and then your opponent's floodgated, and this was free. Like, this card's crazy good. It's a free negate is too powerful. The only reason I don't run this at 4 is the 2 reasons. The main reason is honestly the fact that it's limit 1. Because you can't just spam these defensively in a turn, so you can only use 1 per turn. So 3 is the right amount. But yeah, if your opponent has like 1 or 2 cards in the hand and you ever use this, their turn's just over. They just have to pass their turn. They can't do anything. Which is great. Homicidal clones, free negates is free. Alongside of this, it's like yeah, we don't have to commit any of our energy defensively and use all our energy offensively, which is great. So yeah, good lineup there. 2 focus breakthrough just for floodgates and Deborahs if they do decide to play that card against us, and then 1 Koitsukai. Honestly, I was kind of struggling to figure out what I want to put in the last few slots of the deck, so I just ended up going with the Koitsukai, so I had something to side out if I wanted to. But yeah, that's the main board, guys. Quickly run through the Z deck real quick. So we already talked about these 2 Gokus. This is our enabler for the Time Chamber. We play the Z Leader and the 16, of course. The Z Leader can be played when you're at 3 life or less. You pay 2 green Z energy to go into it normally. That does come up because sometimes we can take so much of our life with the Time Chamber. So sometimes I'll just swing with my leader, ask any negates, and they say no negates, and then boom, I just trump my leader with 2 energy. So yeah, you don't always have to use the 16 to go into the Z Leader, but the 16, what it does, you play it for 1. If you and your opponent have 4 more Z energy, you just chuck this under. You Z stack the Z leader, and then when the 16 is removed from the battle area, you get to play your Z leader and go down to 4 life, which is really nice. Lets you always go into your Z leader no matter what the life total, and it's also technically cheaper. It's 1 Z energy and 1 regular energy versus 2 green energy and 3 Z energy. And then yeah, the 16 as well. It's a blocker, so yeah, so it gets to defend an attack, then go into the Z leader and auto. Every time your opponent plays a battle card, you may KO this card, or when your opponent's turn ends, you can KO this card. So, and also the skills can't be negated. So once you play this, they're not stopping it. That's kind of how it is. You're going to a Z leader no matter what. Keep in mind, you have to have a total of 4 Z energy, 4 regular energy between you and your opponent to Z stack. I almost in testing one time I always fumbled that, so you know don't talk about that, you know. And lastly, not least, we have 2 freezes and 1 Jiren. I didn't play Jiren at all today, but it's nothing better to really play in the Z deck. I much rather have the option if my opponent has a Unison getting out of control and I have a lot of Z energy. Perfect example, Boo Unison. This is my best way to get rid of Boo Unison without having to do anything fancy. If I've got 6 Z energy, for example, which this deck technically can easily get, but that's a bit of an excessive number. But if I have a couple of Z energy, right, pay 2 to play him, then use his active main to remove 2 markers from a Unison and then give him double strike. So yeah, good game ender. Then Freezer is insane. It's another enabler of surprise attack Freezer. You just pay it for the 1Z energy. You KO something, then you get to play surprise attack Freezer. You attack with surprise attack Freezer. They have to discard a card from their hand because of this, so it's a lot of hand destruction. So yeah, just overall very good. And that's it, guys. That's it for the main deck. Quickly run through the side deck real quick. So I'll go over the cards I started in the most today because I think they're all the best cards. We've got 2 Earth Destroying Deflection Kamehameha. I don't know what I just said. Goku's Kamehameha Deflection. 1 energy negate, KO forecast. This card's insane versus yellow right now because I swear to God, they pay 1 energy for a forecast beat stick and we just kill it for 1 on their turn, so it works out very nicely. 2 of the Son Gohan rare, Necessary Evil. This card's really good anyway. You pay 1 energy to combo it off, and then you just remove 3 markers for your opponent's Unison. I actually used its active main today to play it and swing, because it was just 25 crit. My opponent had no cards in their hand, right? So I just swung for crit, put them into double strike range, and then just killed them with my double strike Z leader. So that was pretty funny. So yeah, this card's very good. Potentially could go up to 3, but you don't really need it to, because our Gohan in the main deck also remove markers from Unisons, but this is good for those Unison heavy decks. 1 more Koitsukai for good luck, you know. 3 of the anti-D magic Vegeta, and then 3 of the anti-hand destruction Vegeta. In the mirror match, this is huge. It kind of just turns off the 8-drop. This is also insane into Android 21. If they floodgate you, right, you have to discard a card from your hand and pitch the energy. You just discard this. You get to play it and draw a card and just combo it off. So it kind of gets around that floodgate. And then 3 Vegeta for blue. You know, that's pretty much it. Yeah, literally it. And then I run 2 copies of Faded Rivals Goku and Piccolo. The Gohan is literally these 2 cards combined, and then he just juiced up. He's on crack. So not really needed for this. I think this is more. It's weird because I was running Cooler, the green Cooler, from the latest champ pack or whatever, the one that's the broken, the 5-cost Cooler, but I ended up not liking it as much. The Goku is nice because it has barrier removal, and then I thought, oh, if I'm playing Goku, I might as well play Piccolo, right? I can definitely see a world where I don't side in Piccolo, but I think for those really long blue grindy matchups, I think Piccolo's kind of needed. It helps you get that little bit extra hand destruction at the end of the game where it kind of matters, and it's a 25k dual attacker. Like Piccolo's like this card's really broken. The only problem with this card is that you have to play. You can't just play it like easily. You need to see the Goku to play the Piccolo. But yeah, that is it, guys. Let me just change back to my face to give you guys some closing thoughts. I put the camera a bit up too high, but that's alright. But yeah, that's my Son Gohan deck, guys. Yeah, really hope you guys liked it. I think this deck is really good. I even think before Sin and Gogeta got banned, I think this deck could easily compete with those decks. Even with Gamma as well, it could compete with that 100%. So I think this is a deck that definitely keep your eyes out on. Do I think this is the best deck in the format? Funnily enough, no, I don't think it is. I think this deck's insanely good. I think it's one of the best decks in the format, but I think if you're trolling if you don't think yellow is the best color right now, is what I'm gonna say. So anyway, guys, yeah, that's all for me today. Really hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. This is John signing out from the Collectors Company. Peace.